Joining us now is Ojineka Ojiope, with stories trending around the world. Hello, Jinx.
Good morning, Dr. Abati. How are you this morning? Perfect. Good morning, Ayo.
Good morning.
Perfect.
We're twinning in green.
Yeah, so
different
we have to support our country. Green is our country's color.
It is.
Good morning, Rufy on fire.
But there's a code to the green.
Green, white, green. Amber 2.0.
National Orientation Agency doing Lord's work.
There's a code to the green.
What is it?
Like, this is not Nigeria green.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, no problem.
No, this is not Amber 2.0.
This is closer to Nigeria.
No, please listen to National
sorry.
Orientation Agency.
Okay.
With due respect.
This is why they accuse you people of misinformation.
Okay.
After
You choose the right green.
All we have to do is support Nigeria at all costs, right? Yes. Well, all right. Yeah. Well, let's begin what's trending with reactions trailing the inhumane treatment of the Super Eagles of Nigeria at the airport in Libya. The players traveled to Libya for the second leg of their 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifying match following their 1-0 victory in Uyo, and were met with harsh treatment by Libyan officials. The players were held at the Al-Bak airport for over 20 hours upon their arrival. Following public outcry, the players withdrew from the qualifying match and returned to Nigeria. Well, on Monday evening, the Nigerian Football Federation issued a lengthy statement detailing the Super Eagles' ordeal in Libya. And I'll read an excerpt that actually got me. They wrote, "It took over 1 hour for the team's luggage to roll through the carousel, despite the fact that the bags and other items had already been hauled from the aircraft immediately on arrival. No official of the Libyan Football Federation was at the airport to receive the delegation, as it is the best practice globally. Airport officials could not answer the simple question on where the buses that would take the delegation members back to Benghazi, where the NFF had booked hotel rooms, were. When delegation members, including the NFF president, Comrade Shuaibu, and Dr. Sanusi, attempted to venture outside the airport to ascertain if there were vehicles waiting for the team, they were stopped in the most uncouth manner by airport security personnel." I know that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has waded into this matter. CAF also has responded, but the details of how our Super Eagles were treated has, enraged Nigerians. I'm completely upset about the situation. But also the Libyan Football Federation have provided a video evidence of its team, Mediterranean Knights, and what they endured when they visited Nigeria for the third round of their AFCON 2025 qualifying match. As you can see in that video, they were left waiting and they were made to pass through like some, bad roads. But what are we talking about here? Is it tit for tat? This is what it is now, tit for tat. Let me take some reactions from Nigerians. This is from Eri Olua. He wrote, "I've always had my doubts about the Libyans, especially regarding how they treat blacks in their country. It's hardly different from how other Arabs treat us. It's despicable and uncalled for. I mean, it's not like these Super Eagles were auditioning for Survivor Airport Edition. This isn't just disrespectful, it's irritating and a massive clog in the will of African unity. AFCON is supposed to be about unity, not about turning teams into pawns in some geopolitical chess game. Let me not talk about CAF. I will skip it. The Nigerian government needs to step up, not just with a stern letter, but with actions that shout, 'You don't mess with our Super Eagles.' This isn't just about football. It's about basic human dignity." Well, Ade put out a picture and she wrote, "On the left is the bus the Libyans brought to pick up the Super Eagles after over 20 hours of evil and wickedness. On the right is the bus that NFF provided to convey the Libyans when they were in Uyo, and people opened their mouth to say that we did the same thing to them. Absolutely not. Sad. So, we respected them. Look at the bus that came to pick them up when that incident occurred, like a week ago, right?
A week ago, yes.
Ayo.
All right, so first of all, I'll just echo what you had mentioned earlier, Rufai. this is where Nigerians have to show oneness.
Yes.
I can't believe that some Nigerians are justifying the actions of the Libyan by saying, but we did the same thing. Not at all. There's a place for criticism. There's a place for loyalty and patriotism. We cannot in any way accept. Because for the way they treated the Super Eagles, it's a slap on Nigeria's face. It's not just about our Super Eagles, the national team of Nigeria going out there. Then in explanation for what happened in Uyo last week, I'm glad Abi was here earlier, and she said that what happened was that the Libyan team did not inform the Nigerian officials what time they'd be arriving and their itinerary for their arrival. And so there was no one to welcome them. But immediately they heard they were around, they sent officials to receive them, and they sent very comfortable buses. Unfortunately, we can't do anything about bad roads. That is part of the Nigerian. It's not, we didn't destroy the road purposely because we knew that Libya was coming so that they would have a bad experience. And then they got to the match, and she already mentioned about how we saw how lackluster they played. They wasted a lot of time. But again, this would have been justified if this is not. If this were the first time that Libya was doing this. We've heard about how when local league players, team members go... Eyimba United, she talked about Remo Stars and a few other teams. So what happened with them? Did they come and was a retaliation? Even the audacity of the Libyan Football Federation writing a letter to say that because we didn't play the match today, or we didn't stay to play the match, we're going to write to CAF and that we should be sanctioned because of our people. The audacity. Yes. I said it before. It's not just about sports now. It's a diplomatic issue. And the Nigerian government, and rightly said by one of the tweets, the way we are mistreated or maltreated in other countries, especially North African countries, needs to be investigated. We need to have, demonstrate a strong showing and solidarity behind our players and behind our people. Nigerians deserve to be treated with dignity, especially on the African continent.
Absolutely.
We go abroad and we are maltreated. How much more our brothers and sisters on the African continent? I hope CAF, by the way, the statement released by CAF was too watery and it came a bit late. I hope CAF will take a strong stance against this and restore some sanity to the game. Football is a game that unifies and should have been seen as a game to build bridges between amongst countries. It's sad that it's turned out this way, and we salute our men, the Super Eagles who conducted themselves well, ensured that they came back and refused to play that game. We are behind you and we support you. Your country is behind you.
Well said, Ayo. Your country is behind you. I want to tie this story so we can all discuss it in the same vein. The African Diaspora Union on Monday urged President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to grant Nigerian citizenship to black foreigners. The group's president, Chidiebere Ogbu, made the comment while disclosing plans to hold an inaugural gathering in honor of Africans abroad. The group's president also stated that many black people around the world desire our Nigerian passport and that granting citizenship waivers would not only honor the historical ties of African descendants, but also foster a sense of belonging and identity. Nigeria is a great country, Rufai. Of course, what do you make of this granting of citizenship?
I think there's a process that it should go through, but I think it's a welcome development. I think Ghana did the same. I think when they were celebrating the year of the return, Ghana did a lot of facilitation as regards to lots of African Americans in diaspora coming back and say they're tracing back their roots to Ghana. And they facilitated with, granting them citizenship, including them in our society, because there's no how these people make part of our diaspora. These people, their souls are still tied to Africa. Have you ever wondered how much African Americans spend every year to go and check their DNA and see originally where they are from as a result of slave trade? Have you ever wondered how much? I'll tell you a very personal story. Professor Miles, now he's no longer with the Wigwe University. Professor Miles, which I'm very close to, said one of the reasons why he took the job to be in charge of the Wigwe University was because he had done his DNA ancestry a couple of months before he took that job, and he discovered that his DNA ancestry says he's from here in Nigeria. And he felt that sense of belonging, that this is the time I'm coming back to give my own quota back to development of the education sector in my country. I mean, things didn't work out the way he wanted, with the Wigwe University and all that. He's moved back. But he still has a heart because he says, originally my DNA is from here. You've heard a lot of people, talk about the fact that their DNA is from here. They want to come back. So we too can also facilitate that process. One, they can bring back much needed diaspora remittances also back to us. They can bring back investment opportunity. And they can also bring back a very strong cultural appeal. Because one way or the other, we are mixed. Look at those that returned after the war, after the Kiriji and Jalomi wars, that came back of Brazilian extraction. the Asumpacios of this world, which are the Alakijas. They brought back the Brazilian culture with them. Today we celebrate things like Fati Carnival. Look at the Cardozos, look at the Pereiras. They came back, and when they integrated, they got nationality.
Right.
So we should be able to do the same for these people, because they are indeed the future of this country.
All right, Dr. Abati, your thoughts on
Okay, it's a matter of law. It's not about storytelling. It is as follows. Sections 25 to 28 of Nigeria, Chapter 3, focuses on how you can become a citizen of Nigeria. Through birth, through registration, through naturalization. The context that we're dealing with has to do with sections 27 and 28 of that law. And it's as follows. The African Diaspora Union is saying, oh, black foreigners who are interested in being in Nigeria must be given citizenship. After all, they do it in Ghana. But Nigerian law, under our constitution, says you must be 18 years of age. You must have lived in Nigeria for 15 years prior to the application. The governor of the place where you are resident must say that you are willing to be resident in Nigeria. You yourself must show that willingness. I think one of the conditions says you should be able to speak one language, one Nigerian language. And then it says there must be evidence that you will live in Nigeria for the next 20 years. So naturalization is the principle under our laws as of today. However, I can understand where the African Diaspora Union is coming from, to connect the diaspora with the home root. However, my main concern with regard to this naturalization citizenship thing is Section 26. Section 26 of the Constitution under citizenship by registration doesn't favor Nigerian wives and foreign husbands.
Such a big
because
topic.
It's a big topic.
Yes.
If you marry a Nigerian, you will have very serious issues for you to get Nigerian citizenship, even if you produce 20 Nigerian children. If you are a man, you will have issues. So this is why the argument is out there on the table that sections 25 to 28, should be taken a look at. After all, Nigeria recognizes in the same constitution dual citizenship. But if you say Niger wife, and before you get Nigerian citizenship, you do like this. Before you get husbandship in Nigeria as a foreigner,
I think it should be reviewed,
takes a while.
Really.
So those are the issues here.
And I'm very glad
there
that
are
you brought
legal
that
procedures
up.
involved. That's the story.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up, and I believe that it should be reviewed. Especially for our favorite Niger wife.
She must be willing to be in Nigeria.
Well, all right. Well, in another development, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, Mele Kyari, has said that the removal of petrol subsidy has significantly reduced cross-border smuggling of the product. Kyari spoke in an interview with journalists on October 13th. He said petrol smugglers could make as much as 17 million naira on one tanker of petrol, while an oil marketer in Maiduguri, Borno State capital, would only gain about 300 to 400,000 naira. Well, in the meantime, World Bank Vice President Indermit Gill has said that Nigeria will need to stay its course for 15 years to transform its economy. Let's take a listen.
The central bank has had to hike its policy rate by a huge 850 basis points, that's almost 9 percentage points, in the last 9 months to boost confidence in the naira and anchor inflationary expectations. But the central bank financing of fiscal deficits has finally ended. And Governor Cardoso has been putting Nigeria, or be helping to put Nigeria on the right course, on the correct course. But this is only the beginning. Nigeria will need to stay the course for at least another 10 to 15 years to transform its economy. So I don't know if you're agreeing with me or if you're disagreeing with me. If it does that, it will transform its economy, and it will become an engine of growth in sub-Saharan Africa, and it will help to transform sub-Saharan Africa.
15 years. Renewed shege. Of course, a lot of people were disagreeing with him
How
there.
will you be
15 in under what, a year, people are already like suffering and dying.
No,
But
you
then
will just destroy you as it is now,
Yeah.
Oji. I just have to point this in. As it is now, it's going to take another 10 to 20 years to fix the fabric of the country you've destroyed with these two policies
Yeah,
you've made.
but-
You've ruined generations forever. Generations will never remain the same as a result of this hardship.
But I mean,
as we
there's so
speak.
many things that can be done to
there has to be a road
revamp
to
our
recovery.
road to
There has to be a
recovery.
road to
But
recovery.
meanwhile, a young engineer, Oyekunle Ayasola, who designed a self-powered generator that does not require fuel, revealed in an interview how he has received life-threatening calls and messages over his design. He spoke to Vanguard about his design.
All these parts I'm using, I have to fabricate them manually, which is not very much convenient. I believe Nigeria is ready for it, most especially this subsidy removal period and this high cost of fuel. Then when I was even trying to make this, it was actually, fuel was like, I think 65 naira per liter. Now it's sold for 1,000 plus. I believe Nigeria will need it more than ever. They are self-powered. They use electromagnetic field induction. Yes, so they are self-powered. The moment you on them, they're charging back itself. It has just smaller 12-volt batteries. So just for you to, kickstart, instead of starting manually. Some of the challenges, is just, threats from, I can't really say it's though it has been years back, but, from your, not just competitors, they are individuals, I don't know. They kept the threats coming in form of text, in form of calls with private lines. Though it stops for a while, but that could not stop me.
I mean, these are sort of innovation that should be encouraged and not, threatened. I mean, we are seeing our young people doing the Lord's work in our economy, and we are hearing people trying to stifle them because it also relates to, in fact, the fuel smuggling and all of that. Yeah,
I'm shocked.
Yes.
That with this man discovering, maybe after today, nobody from the federal government, Ministry of Science and Technology can call this man. What do people like this have? They have great technology. What do? Call them forward.
Yes.
Put an endowment fund. All the money they've been stealing in this country that they're hiding under sockaway tank and everything, if it's $10-15 million, you give this man to scale. When he starts to sell, not only across the African continent, he will bring in Forex for you. But people will rather they go and import generation from other parts of the world when you have people locally that can scale. So I hope they're going to call this man, give him all the support he needs, and to be able to make it scale. And Oji, there are many people like that that are like this in this country.
Absolutely. Dr. Batty.
Quick points, very obvious. One, this speaks to the talent of Nigerians. We have seen Nigerians coming up with different innovations in science. Ordinary people either designing airplanes or designing other things. So this is one of those diamonds of the Nigerian story. These are the people who deserve national honor.
Yes.
Not useless, non-performing governors who are trying to steal local government funds. When they come up with their national honors list, you'll be surprised. You'll see governors there, and you'll be asking yourself, what are these persons? What have they done? Including Babariga, Login, Agbada, blowing traditional rulers. And you'll be asking yourself questions. We should identify our heroes and promote them. Number two, innovation is the oxygen for development. No country grows without supporting innovation. So innovation should be supported. Three, the gentleman says he has been receiving threats. Does that not tell you the story about energy security in Nigeria, energy stability in Nigeria? The people who import generators, they are probably the ones that are not happy with his innovation because it will ruin business for them.
Absolutely.
So this is the whole story about energy security and stability in Nigeria. People have brains, they have talent, they have capacity to move this country forward. But the mafia, they call them the generator mafia, the diesel mafia, the people who benefit from the failure of Nigeria, that one Mr. Indebit Gill is now saying, will take us 15 years of hardship. I thought Mrs. Tinubu said 2 years. We have even been trying to digest that. Now this man comes from the World Bank and he says, no, 15 years of suffering for Nigerians. Is that how they suffer in his own country? So these are the problems that we face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can I just quickly say that this is and I just mentioned that now we understand why this power issue in Nigeria has persisted for so long. We see the evidence of this. Let me tell you, Nigerians are too brilliant for us to have had power issues for so many years. If we wanted to solve the issue, we would have done it a long time ago. We have brilliant scientists. Only yesterday, we had the NLNG Prize for Science innovators sit with us. They are going abroad and doing amazing work. So it's not for a lack of talent or innovation. It's just as a result of the mafia and the saboteurs who do not want Nigeria to work. So if we want Nigeria to work, just political will and support. Invest in young minds who are going abroad, who are harvested by countries abroad, who understand what it means to bring innovators and people who can really work for the country. So this power issue, a lot of the challenges we have in this country, that's why I don't believe in 15 years. We can solve it in a matter of years if we are ready to do so. That's just invest in people.
Invest in people. Well said, Ayo, really. Well, in another development, residents of Agenebude in Edo State on Sunday burnt down a police station after the alleged kidnap and killing of a young boy in the locality, well, according to eyewitness accounts. Several persons were killed and vehicles inside the police station were set ablaze over an allegation that suspected herdsmen were kidnapping and killing people for organ harvesting and were allegedly being protected by the police. Well, here's an amateur video of the incident.
They don't put fire for the station like this, so they see him so. So one of the Aboki, I don't confirm I'm dead, I don't kill him. So now the station they did like this, so. All the police they don't run.
I am a police now. No, they don't be police. No commit offense.
This was a very, very sad incident in your state. I mean, we need more information on this. It borders on... She's from Edo as well. Exactly.
I'm from that particular
mom is from that particular area. What are you talking about, Dr. Bati? This is a very serious incident. Well, it borders down on organ harvesting, and you did see, I don't know if you guys saw the video of, a young man going around and showing, people's organs that were harvested in that area. We need more information as to whether or not these people that were accused, the police officers of hiding the identity of those that were, responsible for this organ harvesting. But also in the same vein, in Edo State, your state, Ayo, a police officer identified as Abraham Uzuogbo allegedly raped a female detainee until she lost consciousness. Police spokesperson Olumuyiwa Adejobi, responding to the incident, said that the case has been attended to. He wrote in a post on X saying that the policeman has been identified. He's being subjected to necessary disciplinary processes. The act is condemned in its totality. The command has been mandated to do the needful and make its outcome public. This again shows the decay in the police force, really.
I mean, so that's why when we fight for them, we should also say it when they do wrong. For that officer to be able to do that, then you see that there's a great level of decay in the system. And it was caught on camera doing that. That's what saddens me.
Yes, we saw that.
We just hope that the police will get to the bottom of this. And we're going to see action being meted out.
Yeah.
And he must face the full, wrath
of the law.
Wrath of the law.
Yeah.
In the sense that, I'm also seeing rape there.
Rape.
Because you're doing that against the woman's will, and she's a suspect kept in detention. But it's not today. Anecdotally, it's not today we've heard stories of prostitutes that are arrested that are kept in detention. Some police officers have their way with them.
Right.
This was just caught on camera. We must see this to the very end.
We must, absolutely. They should not just sweep it under the table. I mean, people are saying he's a police officer, nothing will happen. I hope that's not the
something
case.
has to happen.
Something's got to happen.
You can't build a country that way.
Well, all right. Before we end what's trending today, let's highlight how a group of Nigerians are using plastic bottles to build earthquake-proof homes in our Good News Report. With more than 500 billion bottles being discarded every year, plastic pollution continues to plague the planet. The chemicals that plastic waste releases into the atmosphere create heat-trapping gas and also suffocate aquatic life in the ocean. Well, in a move that has been hailed as revolutionary, a group of Nigerians are building houses made of plastic that are durable enough to resist earthquakes, fire, and even bullets. One of those exceptional Nigerians building plastic homes is Yahya Ahmed, an engineer who built a house in Kaduna using 14,800 discarded plastic bottles as bricks. Ahmed is also a director of a non-governmental organization promoting renewable energy in Nigeria. He said he built the house to encourage recycling of waste materials, create jobs, and foster a healthier environment in Nigeria.
It's a very good solution, really, for a lot of people, the low and medium income people. It doesn't biodegrade, it doesn't change, it doesn't do anything. So at least you are sure this one, you come back 250 years later, you will find it as it is. And concrete blocks will not last that long. If this is a cement block building, when you enter it, you start sweating, you run outside again. Because it's too hot, it's like an oven. You need AC or this. Here, maximum, you need a ceiling fan. You don't even need it. Because the walls are thick and the sun is a poor conductor of heat. So the heat remains outside. On the other way, in the cold season, the inside remains warm when it's very, very cold outside.
Fantastic. This is such a great innovation as well. I mean, Ahmed began this initiative about 3 years ago, and we have seen people in the northern state emulating this. I mean, it's not going to take us 15 years if we find a way to revamp our economy.
New.
Yes.
India, South America, Central America,
yes.
Since 2002.
It's amazing.
But the second point is that innovation drives development.
That's it.
You cannot do without innovation.
Absolutely.
This is considered cheaper, earthquake resistant,
and even fireproof.
Bulletproof.
Well, our Nigerian
what I don't know is whether you
should
can construct high-rise.
Yes, well,
with it.
it's
But
just
new
the
ideas
beginning. New ideas.
are welcome.
Congratulations, as always. Well, I'd love to thank you all.